Thanks for joining us for today's episode of The Capitalist Investor. As always, you've got Mark and D.
Mark, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Just living it.
Living the dream, baby.
Yeah,
living
right.
the dream, you know? It's officially fall here in Cleveland.
I know. The weather's kind of turned here, and if I look a little depressed, that's a big part of the reason.
Well, I'll be depressed for the next 6 months now.
Yeah.
That's just what happens every year.
And now I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away to like Florida for a couple days or something like that in January. That stuff, if you live in Cleveland, you kind of have to do.
Yeah, so January, February, March, I was just asked this question on a Zoom call with a prospective client. A lot of people think like the snow happens soon, but I can tell you, man, like on Christmas Day, you know that we've had a lot of like 50, 60 degree Christmases lately, right? Where like you can literally have your windows open.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right? I could care less about having a white Christmas.
Right.
I
I'm
really
with
could
you.
care less. But January and February are brutal, and March isn't much better.
Yep. January, it gets so cold.
Yeah.
Late January, early February, it's so cold.
Remember back when we were in college, like St. Patty's Day?
Oh, yeah.
It's March 17th, right? That was like the make or break day every year where like half the years it was cold and snowing.
Right.
And the other half it was like 70 degrees. And we
totally.
were out drunk in downtown Cleveland, right?
Falling down in the snow.
All right, so let's. So we're kind of talking about being stuck inside. So that kind of pivots to the topic of today's show. We've talked in the past, Derek, about the housing boom, about how people have made decisions to pull forward years of travel expenses and invest in their homes.
Yep.
So I thought that I came across this article on Kiplinger's. Kiplinger. I don't know how people would like me to pronounce it. I prefer Kiplinger.
That sounds right to me.
I've also heard it called Kiplinger, but I'm going to call it Kiplinger. They had 11 home features today's buyers want most.
Yep.
So I thought this was pretty cool. I want to go through kind of the whole list with you and line item by line item and just chat about these things because in the past, specifically like where we live in Cleveland, if you were to put 10 grand in your house, you'd be lucky to get 5 grand of that money back when you sold your house.
Yeah.
That's
perfect.
how it used to be. Now there are specific things you can invest in inside and outside your home where you will get a positive return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
For sure.
Even here in Cleveland. Right?
Hopefully, I just built a house, so about 3 years ago now. So hopefully I made some good decisions as we go through this list.
Well, we'll find out. If you haven't looked at it yet, I have, and we'll grade you. All right, so let's go through. 11 home features today's buyers want most. Number 1, laundry room.
Yep.
Dude, that is a must.
Absolutely.
When I was traveling out to New York all the time, and I decided I'm going to stop living out of the Westin Hotel. I'm going to get an apartment. That was the most important thing that I had to find. I had to find an in-suite washing machine and dryer. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So laundry rooms, 91% of buyers want a laundry room. I'm surprised that's not closer to 100.
I know, so especially with families.
Right.
Families we got 2 small kids, and I was worried about the basement, obviously.
Yeah.
But my wife was had a vision of this laundry room in her mind. Because we use it every single day, getting the kids home, getting the kids out the door, obviously using the washer and dryer. It is a, essential spot for kind of the family hub, if you will.
Yeah. So my last house, my laundry room was kind of small. My wife hated it.
Yep.
Now we've got a decent sized laundry room. The only regret I have is we've got 2 dogs. They're old. They're like 14 and 15. I wish we would have done like a little dog washing station.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are really cool.
That was just a miss. Now once these guys, pass on to their next lives, I don't know that we'll get another dog immediately.
Right.
I think I'm dogged out right now.
2 dogs and 3 kids seems a bit aggressive.
No, plus they're peeing and pooping in the house now because they're just old. So I've had enough mopping the floors in the laundry room.
Yep.
So we're done talking laundry room. It's not a good place for me. But they say that the average cost to install a laundry room is $1,000 to $10,000. One other thing I want to mention about laundry rooms is I have heard a few people recently talk about like having laundry rooms on multiple floors. Have you heard anyone mention that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like if all the bedrooms are upstairs, it stinks having to bring all the laundry downstairs to the laundry room.
Yep.
So I have seen, like, in a few custom homes, I've seen, like, a second floor laundry room kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually tried to do the second floor laundry room when we were designing our house, and it kind of got nixed because of technical stuff. But
Yeah.
I can see how that would be amazing.
Well, back in the day when I was growing up, we had a laundry chute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like right in the bathroom, and you open the little door, and you threw your clothes down there, and it ended up in the basement.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, we had when we lived in our old house. It was built in like 1963, something like that. There was a laundry chute in that one too.
Yeah.
My uncle.
Older houses had them, new ones don't, right?
My Uncle Jim. So Uncle Jim, if you're listening, he always tells the story about how his older brothers and sisters threw him down the laundry chute.
Nobody can fit down that thing.
I don't know if that
Uncle
story
Jim,
is true.
Come on, dude.
I've seen the logistics of it. It doesn't look possible, but he brings it up every single time.
Oh, he's got PTSD.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, number 2, energy efficient windows and appliances. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the best things that I've seen outside of going through the process and building the house. Having a new house that is energy efficient between the insulation and the windows, it saves so much money, and it just makes for a cozier home.
Yeah, I remember the houses we lived in college with the old nasty windows, right? Cold air coming through in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sleeping right next to it. Miserable, man.
Yep.
So for me, I understand the appliances, but what I understand and appreciate more than the appliances is the windows and the insulation.
For sure.
Right? I mean, that's just an absolute must. I have no idea how much the windows cost. I guess it all depends on the size of your house. But I do agree that at least the windows are very important.
Yep.
I don't know how much energy you'd really. When I was like fridge shopping for our new house, like there's always those little stickers on the front of the fridge. Like this one costs $67 a year to run. This one costs $74. Does anyone really care about that?
No.
No. All right. So we're going to throw appliances out the window, but you do need good windows. All right. This is probably my second favorite part of my house, D.
Yep.
Patio.
Absolutely.
Love my patio.
It's awesome. I've been there.
Outdoor living is like, for me, that's where it's at.
Yep.
Especially in Cleveland, where we have, probably 5 to 6 decent months a year.
Right.
Right. I want to be outside as much as possible.
Yep, for sure. We have a nice little backyard patio. I don't have the TV outside, but I will be doing that.
Get it done, dude. Football season's, we're already like almost halfway through. So
yep.
you got to get moving.
But we're actually going to, talk about, being stuck at home and spending more money. We're getting like a playground, jungle gym for the kids.
Nice.
So we'll have that right out back so we can kind of hang out on the patio.
Yep.
I got my smoker and my grill out there, and they can kind of just run around and play. So looking forward to that.
87% of people want a patio.
Yeah.
That's high. I wasn't expecting it to be that high. But
yeah, for sure.
There's obviously been a seismic shift towards people finding outdoor living to be desirable.
Yep,
right?
for sure.
Whereas maybe it was taken for granted in the past because you could go and do a bunch of stuff in the summertime that you can no longer do.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, number 4, ceiling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love having a fan on when I sleep. I can't believe this is number 4 on the list.
I'm with you there.
Number 4? Really? A ceiling fan? 85% of home buyers want this feature. Well, I'm sure you can buy a home and put your own ceiling fan in if it's that important to you.
Right.
Right? That's surprising. And I mean, you can get a fan that sits on your floor for probably $50 to $100 if you need the fan, right? So I was a little surprised that ceiling fan, of all the things in here, they're all kind of, high ticket items. for them to have a ceiling fan in here.
Yeah, you can get one for like $130 at Lowe's. It would be a pain in installing it, I guess. I'm not too handy when it comes to home improvement stuff,
Yeah,
so I don't
can't
know
do
what would be
anything.
involved in doing that. But it doesn't seem too involved. And if I personally was making a decision on buying a home, a ceiling fan, being there or not being there, really wouldn't be too high on my list.
Yeah. Next up, garage storage space.
You can literally never have enough of this.
Yes. That is dead on, right?
Right.
So from the last house that I lived in to this one, we extended the length of it, the width of it. We ended up adding like the garage interior stuff, like the cabinets and the nature stone floor. It just gives you so much more storage.
Yep.
Right? I mean, there's nothing worse than pulling into a garage where like you have absolutely no room. Makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah, with kid stuff everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Yep.
So garage storage space, percentage of buyers who want this feature, 85%. I agree. I want it too.
Yep, for sure.
Number 6 is interesting. Exterior lighting. And I'll tell you, man, like before we decided to build our house, when Jamie and I were, looking on Zillow and all that stuff for houses, it always caught my attention when I was looking at the pictures of the houses where there was a picture of the house at night with just beautiful outdoor lighting accenting the main features of the house.
For sure.
I mean, I don't think it's cost all that much money for the outdoor lighting, but I really think it makes a statement when it comes to your house.
Yep, I totally agree. And I'm the same way. Didn't even think about anything like that.
Yep.
Until the people who built across the street from me built their house, and they went all out on their landscaping and they had outdoor lighting.
Yep.
And it's beautiful.
And you're driving down the street, their house looks gorgeous, and yours is dark.
Yep. I'm like,
have that.
son of a gun.
Can't
Yep.
have that.
So
I'm gonna bust out
more
the
money
checkbook.
I gotta spend.
Bust out the checkbook again. Number 7, walk-in pantry.
So everyone out there, Mark Tepper has a walk-in pantry like nothing I've seen before. It is awesome, and it is just so usable for a family, man. It is really one of the best things that you can do, in my opinion, for just ease of living, storage space. Everyone likes Costco these days. I'm a big Costco guy.
Buying in bulk.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Especially with the kids at home. That walk-in pantry, man, is just so great to have. We built a big one too. And just like the garage, it always gets filled up with stuff.
Yeah. So the only issue is mine's actually a walk-through pantry. It's
Right.
like behind the kitchen. You can walk through from one edge, all the way to the other. The issue is my kids like to snack all day, and there's no doors on it. So my wife and I talked about adding some doors with locks, especially my son. That dude he won't eat his dinner, and he'll just crush snacks all day long.
Oh yeah, as soon as my kids come home, they walk right in there.
Yeah.
My little guy's, just over 1, and he's like, snack, every single day.
First thing he wants.
Exactly.
All right, so walk-in pantry. Moving forward, we got number 8, hardwood floors.
So we've talked about this before. Flooring and obviously paint is much cheaper than flooring, but the quickest way to upgrade your home is painting the walls and updating the floors and the carpets.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I like hardwood floors. Do you have hardwood floors?
Yep.
I like them. I've had, what do we have? We had hardwood, a little bit of hardwood in our last house, a lot of carpet, some tile. In this house, with most of our in fact, I think our entire first floor, with the exception of my bedroom, is all hardwood.
Yep.
I like that. I mean, and you can throw down an area rug where appropriate, right? But I like I like the look.
For sure. And I think when you're trying to tie different things together, having that kind of universal floor on the first floor where it all kind of matches. I think that adds a lot of value, a lot of
it does.
Style points, if you will. So yeah, we did the same thing. You know, we got tile in the laundry room, but our whole first floor is hardwood, and they got so many good, inexpensive options out there right now too. So even, you know, hey, another shout out to my friend Joe Yee, if you're listening.
Joe Yee.
He just by himself put hardwood floor down in his whole basement.
Oh, nice.
It took him a whole weekend, but
He did it by himself?
He did it by himself.
I would never do that.
Yeah, I would never do that either.
I wouldn't do that with the help of 3 people.
No.
I would let the other 3 people do
exactly. While you're on the patio.
No way.
So yeah, you know, I think if you're selling a house, especially, updating the floors makes a big difference.
Even if you have hardwood floors already, get them polished before, right? I mean, because like we've got some scuff marks from the dogs, right? So having nice looking hardwood floors, I think, makes a big difference. Number 9, walk-in closet in the master bedroom.
Yep.
Big deal.
You know, I think this one's been a no-brainer for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what people expect to see now.
Yep.
And you know, you can kind of see the transition that you know, our society has gone through, because when I lived in that house that was built in 1963, you know, they all had the very tiny closets. We actually turned a bedroom into a closet, which was nice.
Tony did that in his house.
I know, he copied right off of me.
I can't think for himself.
I had to give him drawings and everything. But yeah, you know, and actually when we sold that house, the people that bought it just fell in love with that closet that I put up. Oh yeah. I bought like IKEA dressers to put in the middle. Yeah. So it looked really fancy. They were like white dressers, you know, kind of like this picture we're looking at here. But they loved it, and they wanted us to throw in those dressers. Those dressers cost like $69 a piece.
Did you have to build them yourself?
No, I bought them. Oh yeah, I did. Woo! You know, back in the day, you know, I got into the IKEA furniture. Oh yeah.
Oh geez.
Those days are over for me.
So, my wife and I, we each have our own walk-in closet. And I've got a confession to make, D. Mine is bigger than hers. I saw the 2 closets. I'm like, Jam, I'm sorry. You know, I got sport coats. I got suits. Like, this bad boy's mine.
Yep.
You get that one.
Yep. Well, you know, you and I are very similar. I have, we only have one, but it's fairly large. And, you know, my suits, I take up more space in there than my wife.
I mean, the suits add up. The sport coats.
Yep.
Work pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
All adds up. All right, so number 10, eat-in kitchen. I didn't know there was a kitchen that wasn't eat-in. I guess they exist.
Apparently.
Maybe in apartments.
Yep.
Right?
So yeah, you know, you see this, you know, when you're going through the new homes, the model homes, things like that. It's pretty much standard now, where you have a breakfast nook or you know, bar. Because that's where the families spend a lot of their time.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yep.
Whenever we have people over, whenever we have a party, most people hang out in the kitchen.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think having a nice eat-in kitchen, what do they mean here? I mean, just having a kitchen table there.
Yep.
Right, so you can eat. Again, I don't think I've ever seen a house without an eat-in kitchen. So I thought that was just automatically included, but apparently in some cities, maybe that's not the case.
Yeah, I guess not.
Maybe that's a bonus feature. On to number 11, which I completely disagree with, is a dining room.
Yeah.
Do you have a dining room?
I do.
You went with a dining room?
It was part of the design that we used, and it does look nice, I will say that. But we use it probably 4 or 5 times a year, maybe.
That's why I hated it.
Yep.
We had our last house was not an open floor plan, and we had like a family room and a kitchen that were combined. Mm-hmm. And whenever we had people over, everyone was in those 2 rooms.
Right.
The other half of my first floor was a dining room that was separated by a wall, and then this quote unquote formal living room.
Right.
Nobody ever went in those 2 rooms, ever. So the dining room, to me, it was like suggested that we have a dining room. My wife wanted a dining room, and I fought. Mm-hmm. I was like, there's no way I'm going to have a dining room. I gave in with the last house. We had it. We used it twice a year, not doing it. So we ended up doing a wine tasting area instead, right? I mean, as soon as you walk in through my front door, you got the little bar set up. Decided to do that and keep it open rather than closing it off and making it a dining room.
Yep.
I think dining rooms are just becoming less and less important. So maybe it's not surprising that it's number 11 out of 11, but I really am surprised it's on the list at all, as I kind of thought they were just, they were almost extinct.
Yep. Everyone's different, though. I was just talking with some clients this morning, actually. They're, like a lot of retirees looking to kind of, downsize, but also upsize.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to downsize, but these days it costs, $100,000 or $200,000 more to downsize into like a new build.
Oh yeah, I love when they tell us they're going to downsize. Yeah, because it's going to cost more money.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they've been living in that $250,000 house since
30 years old, 40
exactly.
years old. Yeah.
They're going to sell that for $250,000 and then want to move into like a single floor plan.
Brand new.
Those bad boys are like $450,000 and up.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they host their kids and grandkids, and they got big gatherings. So they wanted a dining room. So I can still see it, but yeah, I'd say younger families on the go, probably not using that dining room very often.
Yeah. So for some reason, it didn't show up what percentage of people want
it's not there.
Dining room. That's a miss, Kiplingers. You had it for every other category except for number 11, and that's the one that I'm disputing. Why'd you do that?
We'll write them a very strongly worded letter.
We will. One thing I noticed in here, I think it was just an ad, but it was basically something like why you shouldn't have a pool.
Right.
And I think pools are in very high demand right now. Now, that might be something where you invest money and you don't get a dollar for dollar return.
Right.
You lose. But the searches for houses with a pool on Zillow skyrocketed during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you those houses sold at a significant premium, right?
No doubt.
But on a dollar for dollar standpoint, maybe that's why that's not on the list. Because, you could easily pay $100,000 for a pool.
Right.
And when it comes time to sell it, maybe only get half of that back. Now, there's also above ground pools that you can probably get for $10,000, right? But then you probably got to build a deck around it and stuff. So, all in, it's going to cost you a little bit of money.
Yeah, I would say in the past that was probably a thought because, you would have to sell your house to someone that obviously wanted a pool to get that money back. But these days, I think everyone wants a pool.
Yeah.
Whether you're...
Who's going to, like, when we were shopping for houses, we, I came across some nice houses before we decided to build that had pools in the backyard, but it was pretty much the whole backyard was the pool. And I'm like, as much as I think I'd like to have a pool, I'd like a backyard, right? Like there's no grass. It's just a patio and a pool, right? Like it wasn't for me. Nowadays, like I couldn't imagine somebody going, so I held it against those houses. I didn't like it. I couldn't imagine someone going to look at a house now, seeing a pool and saying, I don't like it because it has a pool.
Right.
I'm sure it happens, but it's got to be much, much less than it did in the past.
Right.
That was fun.
It was good. I like going through that list. And, hey, if you're listening out there, I think it's, how does this impact us from a financial perspective? It's really, two ways, I think. Number one, when you're upgrading your home, especially in this, cycle that we're in, if you want to get your money back, this type of stuff is important.
Pay attention to this stuff.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
This can help you to kind of narrow down your options for where you start with your renovation project.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be reckless.
Exactly.
Don't go and spend $25,000 on something that you like that nobody else is going to like in the future.
Absolutely. Be strategic.
Yep.
If you have, people in the real estate business, ask questions, listen to stuff like this, read these articles. It's very important for, huge financial decisions, which are, buying and selling houses.
Yep. Swaggity swag time.
Yep, let's do it.
Swaggity swag time.
Oh, mine was crooked the whole time.
Way to go, dude. It's the
really
only commercial we have during
really
the whole
dropped
show.
the ball on that one.
Come on, man. I even make sure my mouthpiece is like pointed towards me the right
That's impressive.
way.
That's
dude,
impressive.
You got to be prepared. Swaggity swag time. So this episode will be published on Wednesday, October 28th. Mugs have been in now for a couple of weeks. I believe we should have shirts.
Yep, right around that
by
date.
October 28th. So, all of you, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for the 5-star reviews. If you take it a step further and you type something up in the 5-star review, we really appreciate that because that's helping us to grow our audience. It's helping us to grow our reach. So we really appreciate that. Shoot us an email. A lot of you have already taken us up on that offer. We've probably gotten maybe a dozen emails so far from people who wrote the 5-star review and would like us to send them a little swag package. So shoot us an email at info@swpconnect.com. I can't wait to see these shirts.
Yep, it's going to be awesome. And hey, while we're on that, it takes a lot of time to put the show together, so we appreciate the nice comments that we get in there.
Yeah.
But if you guys have stuff that you want us to talk about, topics, we would love to hear them because it's some weeks are busy with news and other weeks aren't. So
yeah, and I was bumper to bumper today,
right?
And I had to hop onto Kiplinger's to find something for us to comment on,
right? Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we are always interested in topics that you would find interesting, that the rest of our listeners would find interesting as well.
For sure.
That's probably 50% of the work that goes into this is figuring out what to talk about.
Exactly.
And then you need to figure out what to say about that topic, right? But that's the hardest part. Mm-hmm. What's relevant and what's going to make for a good show. So definitely shoot us an email, info@swpconnect.com, and we'll take that into consideration. As always, thanks for joining us. Check out the show notes. Check out the YouTube channel. You can shoot Derek a message right within the show notes. You can shoot me a message, or just shoot us an email to info@swpconnect.com. As always, thanks for joining us. See you next time.